First Ecumenical Council. What does that mean? An ecumenical council, unlike what we use the word ecumenical to mean today, the ecumenical council was when all the bishops of the whole church throughout the world were gathered together to pray and to beseech the Holy Spirit for wisdom. Because a gross heresy had arisen within the church. Within the church, heresies always start with a tiny grain of truth and then twist it. The heresy which was rife in the church at that time was that Jesus was just a man. Just a man who had been specially blessed by God to do the things which he was doing. In this first ecumenical council, the whole church set the truth there for us to see and to follow. It's there in that gospel that I've just read to you, when Jesus says to his Father, "Glorify me with the glory which I had before the world began." So not just a man, God with the Father and the Holy Spirit before the world began. So what is Jesus? Jesus is both God from his Father and man through his mother. The other heresy which was rife in the church was that nothing from the Virgin Mary went to Christ. He passed through her like water through a drain pipe. No, that's a heresy. God, the Son, took unto himself our humanity through his mother. She gave birth to one who was both God and man. Why is that important? It's important because God, taking our humanity on himself, then made it possible for us to enter into the divinity of God. In the Ascension, we see how important this is, because Jesus ascended back to the Father and is now seated at the right hand of the Father, not as a spirit, but with body as well. So there, God the Father on his right hand has the God-man, Jesus, God and man. So our humanity is there at the right hand of the Father. That's wonderful. So many heresies continue to this present day. You see people talking about Jesus as though he was a very holy man. The Muslims like to think that Jesus was a bit of a prophet, but not very much. Evangelical Christians like to think that Jesus was a man specially endowed by God. We know that Jesus is, not was, is both God and man. And there, at the right hand of the Father, making intercession for us, along with his mother, who makes intercession for us to him. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. How could we do anything but rejoice? The Troparion for the Ascension is Christ God ascending into the heavens, making glad the disciples by the promise of the Holy Spirit. and they knew then that he was the Redeemer of the world. Into every Christian, at his or her baptism, with the chrismation, with the holy oil, is endowed with the Holy Spirit. Each of us has within us, as Christians, the Holy Spirit. St. Paul calls the body, the temple of the Holy Spirit. Your body is a very special thing because it houses the Holy Spirit. It always amuses people when they give children gifts at Christmas and they open the gift and they put the gift to one side and play with the box. My parent does the same. He loves boxes. He's terrified of toys, but he loves the boxes and he will tear them to pieces. This body, given to me by God, becomes a temple of the Holy Spirit. When you receive Holy Communion, you receive into yourself the body and blood of Christ, and you become a tabernacle, a temple of God. Cherish that, and move yourself towards God with your prayers and with your sacrifices, which you make every day to help other people, also made